Hey, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to apply acrylic to short nails and still keep your shape. So I try to stick to the 3-ball method, and when I place my first bead, I place it where the natural nail and the nail tip meets. So I take that first bead and I drag it all the way down to the tip. I don't really swipe until the acrylic has set more, but I kind of just guide it, and I continuously wipe my sides because it's very important to keep your shape. If you let the acrylic just run over, then you're gonna get it stuck underneath the nail. It's gonna be bulky, so just make sure you wipe your sides. So I just placed my second bead, and now it's time to place my third bead. And with my third bead, I place it closer to the cuticle and more so the middle, just so I can build my apex. Although the nails are short, they still need to be balanced, but it's not as significant like as long nails, so you don't really have to stress that much when it comes to short nails. But after I place my third bead, I always check the angle, make sure the nails aren't too flat. When you're trying to smooth the acrylic, make sure you don't apply too much pressure, because then you're going to get a dent in your acrylic from your brush. So make sure you just swipe gently and just make sure the acrylic is smooth. Also make sure your beads aren't too wet, because if they're too wet and you swipe the acrylic, you're just going to swipe it all off and it's going to be a waste of time. So make sure your beads aren't too wet and you swipe gently. Here you see me switch brushes. I was using a size 12 at first, then I switched to a size 18, I think. And I just did that because I didn't like how the other brush was working. But I suggest for beginners, you start off with anywhere between an 8, 10, or a 12, just because with bigger brushes, you soak up a lot of monomer and you could just waste product with a bigger brush if you don't know what you're doing. So I suggest when you're first starting out to use a smaller brush. When applying your cuticle bead, I know it can be kind of difficult because I'm still trying to work on it myself. But lately what I've been doing is making my cuticle bead a little more wet than my other beads because it kind of fills itself out more, but not too wet to the point where it's on the skin and you got to keep wiping it off. So I just try to use the tip of my brush when I first lay the bead and kind of push it up to the cuticle and then let it fill itself out. And if it just so happened to get on the skin, then I'll wipe it off. Okay, I got out of frame while I was doing this thumb, but if you look at the side profile of the other nails, you can tell that the application is smooth, the apex is there, and that's what you want. Also, during this process, make sure you give yourself steps before you go in and do a full set, because I know you can forget a lot of steps and get overwhelmed and just, do whatever. But it's very important to give yourself steps. That way, if something happens, say a nail broke, and say, oh, well, I didn't put a third bead on that nail to build my apex. That's probably why it broke. So if you give yourself steps like 3-ball method or whatever, it can really help you get better. But I will do another one on shaping. But here's the finished product. I hope you guys liked the video, and leave suggestions down below on what you would like to see next. Thank you. Bye.